St. Kitts and Nevis, the regional and international diaspora. Good morning to us in the world. Welcome you to today. It is the last day of May 2026. In the family, and I know that Mother's Day is not going to ever be the same for that particular mother. So on behalf of the entire team here at and our family, we do extend sincere condolences to that family that would have lost the young child yesterday. We continue just to bring some TVC channel, Facebook as well, YouTube. We're from that 98.9 for those of you who can get us on the radio. Just remember number 466-0989 in the US 1305-921-4619 or 1718-285-6984 in the UK 0333440065. You, how are you doing? It's been here as well on your end. To all listeners, welcome. I hope you intend to have a great Monday morning full of gratefulness, a productive and prosperous week. One here and there, wherever you can fit it in. Remember to exercise. Your health is your wealth. So let us have a great week. For all who may be mourning the loss of family members, we send our heartfelt condolences and sympathies. Now, on graduating, I wish you many steps as you continue along. I know you may not want to hear. Kudos to them. We know CC is ongoing. Like, I've lost track. I don't go to school anymore. The other day somebody say, yeah, the children are writing CXCs. Well, let me say teenagers, because I don't think they would want me calling them children. So continue to work hard for those of you who are writing exams. Soon, the US is happening. And for now, needs to be done, and what comes or the end of August, you can have hearty results that you can look forward to. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Cartensia. I'm blessed and highly favored, giving thanks. What about you?
I am trying to be plenty better than yesterday, you know. It's a new day, another minute or time to get something done that I needed to be done, or to get better at something. So yeah.
Very unfortunate news that youngster, 4-year-old.
It's 4? That young?
Yeah, very
oh
young.
Boy.
I heard 4, and I'm subject to correction.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Extremely young, and boy, it's very unfortunate. And like you said, that mother will always remember Mother's Day for the very wrong reason. And again, I join you in extending condolences to the family and friends, and obviously the colleagues at school of this youngster. That is never an easy thing.
Never.
And especially, well, I don't know if it is an especially, because I don't think we ever accept depth, whether the person is 80 plus, 60 plus, 40 plus, or 4-year-old.
Yeah, they're just coming around.
Yeah, it's... whoa, and I don't know. I haven't had the fortune or the misfortune of losing someone so young, and I don't know. I could only imagine what those parents and the siblings are going through, the grannies, etc. But we ask them to be strong and find comfort, joy, and peace in the many good times they have shared, albeit so young, and moments they'll forever cherish.
Yeah.
It's really rough, Cartens here.
Yeah, that's a rough one. As I said, her Mother's Day will never be a good one. No therapy, no amount of, boy, I don't know. That mom, and I empathize with her, because I don't know. In this case, I really don't know how she's going to deal with it going forward. I could only imagine what today seems like.
Indeed.
If we moments or see things that could probably happen before, and we'd be like, okay, in the next 20 minutes this is going to happen, so we're not going to do that, because how would life be? Like this morning I was thinking back in my younger self, when I was sitting on my porch, I knew I wanted to be a flight attendant. I didn't know that dream would have become a reality. Well, I worked towards ensuring that it did. I didn't know I would have ended up not living in Guyana anymore. I didn't know how far I would have gotten. And I'm just thinking, wow, imagine me, that young person sitting on the porch thinking, okay, this is what you're going to do at that age. This is what you're going to do at that age. So you have to ensure you do that. I said, what if life was like that? But it is not like that. We can't rewind moments. We see those things in the movies. They don't happen for real. But
yeah, premonition or whatever you call them.
yeah, I wish we.
Discernment.
Yeah. In the next 20 minutes, something bad is going to happen. So we're not going to do that. But, you know, we don't. That's superhero things. That's, as Biff would have said, premonitions that some we don't really have. So the only person that knows the future is the Most High, and it's sad. We grieve with the mother. We empathize with the rest of the family and the dad, because it takes two for a little one to come into the world. So for the mom and the dad, I know we emphasize so much on mothers that we sometimes forget the dad and that. I don't want you to think that we forgot you, but to the mom, the dad, the entire family of that young child, condolences and sympathies.
And speaking about mothers and Mother's Day, somehow I didn't get the normal buzz around Mother's Day. I don't know if it's me, but you know, normally there's this big hype leading into Mother's Day.
But you didn't see the big hype?
I didn't.
It's wrap up like on the same, I should say, or on the same mindset, because everybody has somewhere. Maybe, I don't know.
Where was I?
For Mother's Day luncheons.
Moms and what?
Daughters.
Just alike?
Yeah, for Mother's Day luncheon. I said, what? They took it up a notch. Those things back then.
Somehow. Maybe I was too busy. Well, I spent yesterday umpiring.
Oh, okay.
Local cricket. The cricket, the Andrew Weeks to the tournament.
Okay.
So I would have missed all the buzz otherwise. But the build up, somehow I didn't see it and feel
I
it.
too. I didn't sense it as much. I don't know. Maybe the mothers are younger and the kids don't work, or the kids don't care anymore. I don't know.
Everybody too busy. I don't know.
Boy, we have to finish with this busyness, because are we really busy? What are we busy about? But it seems shorter, and there is so much that we have to do as individuals. So, because sometimes I say, okay, I'm gonna get this done in the day. The day goes, and I only got one thing done. I saw a post that Tony had up, and she said, it's month 5. How much have you accomplished? And I think, shucks. The only thing I've been kind of consistent with is my exercise.
Oh, congrats.
I haven't gotten much else done. Thanks. But
the doc would love to hear that.
But yeah, 5 already. How much have you accomplished off your list, Biff?
Of the 27 things, about 1.5.
Oh boy, Lord, you on.
I think I'm gonna forget about these long lists and just put about 2-3 things on them, and when I finish those 2-3 things, just move on to another.
But it's an excuse to do whatever we want and procrastinate and waste more time. How about that?
Yeah.
Be accountable, because if we don't hold ourselves accountable, who will?
Well, we'll do that tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, we'll do that tomorrow again, and tomorrow.
Exactly. But to look for, so man, we just need to work hard and stop being procrastinators, lazy people saying, oh, we just need to do what we have to do.
And speaking about time moving too fast, the wheat weekend is coming up, not next week Monday, the following Monday. Another public holiday, long weekend in the Federation. And after that, we're looking forward to Father's Day, and then Music Festival.
Then Culturama,
Independence, and then
how many holidays do we have?
I don't think we have as many as Guyana and Trinidad. No, because you guys have a lot of
ethnic ones.
Yes, ethnic holidays. And I know we have the long weekend, the August weekend. We also have the Easter weekend, the Good Friday and the Monday, which is a long one. And there are times when our Independence and National Heroes Day fall on a Monday, Sunday, a Friday and Monday. So that it becomes a long weekend. No. Then we have Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
We have WIT, and that's it, yeah.
So, so and it's 2026. The observances. These days features parades, shows and closures of businesses and government of offices, including Carnival Day, Emancipation Day, and Independence Day. So, we have which is before we have on the 25th, as you mentioned. Then Emancipation Day. Then
Exactly.
Yes. Then the 16th, the 19th, Independence Day, the 25th, Christmas Day, the 26th, time to go out and walk up, Boxing Day, as we know.
And come next year, God's Spear, we'll have an additional holiday, public holiday that is.
For what?
The Buckness Uprising, that's
yes.
29th, I think it is, the 29th of January.
29th of January?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
1935.
Oh, so they will have, we'll have 15 official public holidays next year, all things equal.
And persons have been pushing for Kim Collins to be a public holiday.
Yeah, August 25th.
It's recognized as the Kim Collins Day, but not a public
Not
holiday.
a public holiday.
So,
So everybody arriving here in the Federation.
I haven't seen and heard anything as yet.
I saw something on Facebook with a plane. They said that plane was carrying his body and someone else's. So I don't know.
One thing we don't say, Kittians, well, can't even say for the visions, but for us Kittians, boy, we could create things.
We could create things?
Yeah, it may be true, but I haven't heard anything one way or the other. So, persons are expecting him back, and I expect it's going to be a big funeral. And speaking about a funeral, if I'm not mistaken, I think today is the funeral of Fighting Hunks, one of our national body boxers.
Oh.
He's from Connery. The brother of Zeke Percival, one of our national golfers. And
so condolences to Zeke.
Yes, condolences to them. The Fighting Hunks, and he was an ardent listener and caller to various radio stations.
Okay.
And he wasn't afraid at all to let you know what he thinks.
That's good.
He wasn't afraid at all. And the condolences to his family and the friends. So, but some positive news, the CBI. We've gotten some awards.
Oh.
There was a function in St. Lucia, I think it is.
Was St. Lucia. So is it St. Kitts?
Well, from my understanding,
first it said St. Lucia.
I think it was held in St. Lucia.
And then after, it's for.
But Citizenship program named the Program of the Year.
Okay, that's good for us.
Well, hold on. I have to check. I
think it's Calypsonian Elton King Nero. Around, I think it's on May 8th for his final journey home. Said he passed away on April 26, 2026, and was returned to St. Kitts via a Mary Jet flight accompanied by family. So yeah.
And the thing is that he had said that he wanted to spend his last days home.
Yeah.
But that wasn't to be. And again, we say condolences to his family, friends, fans, the Newtown community, especially under the breadfruit tree.
Yeah.
And that's a tremendous loss.
And one gentleman the young gentleman that was killed for the band, the lead singer for the band, Chubby, was he laid to rest already?
I haven't heard anything as yet. I know they had a vigil some time ago.
Okay.
But, I was at a funeral a few years ago, one of the players in my club in Sandy Point, Crabble Sports Club, passed. So obviously a few of the players were there. And we were thinking about differences in funerals today and funerals back then. And I think we counted 23, 30 something funerals, as subtle as they may be. Once ago when you pass, they would have kept the body for 3, 4, maybe 5 days. But now you forget some persons die because, take for example, CJ.
And stuff, and then if your family's coming from overseas, you have to wait. So yeah, I know. I'm go. Maybe long time they didn't have technologies that could have kept the body as long as now. So with everything that we have, because when my uncle passed, my uncle looked like his living self in his casket. I was like, wow, it's fresh. Like the funeral home had the man looking dapper. He looked like himself. His makeup, if he had makeup was on fleek, everything was good. He looked like he was alive still, just resting. Literally, he looked very well.
I think, well, of course, there are degrees now. I don't know if they were back then.
In mortuary services?
Yeah, you would have gone and studied how to make the dead almost look alike.
Yeah, look alive, yeah.
And I've heard stories where persons go to study pilot, to be a pilot, end up studying bakery and things like that. You change courses. And I think I heard that of a mortician that here in St. Kitts. She went to study one thing, and then while there, I don't know what happened.
Changed her mind and
shifted to that. And I think she's the only one we have in St. Kitts at the moment.
Oh, but a degree.
So
okay.
Like funny cartons here. But
okay. You know my information. So they said a camp vigil is scheduled for May 18th, and then a funeral service is set for May 20th at the Warner Park Cricket Stadium.
That's Chubby.
Yeah. Okay. That's for Chubby. Yeah, but my gosh, as I said, people die, you think...
Keep going, police here.
You keep... We will have a program that is talk. So stay tuned for that. To funerals, we have heard of young people dying. That when we heard a young person die, especially and it was from a car accident or a drowning or something like that. But now, when you see death has no age, that it just comes, and we never know when it's our time. That's why I always say, let us try to be our best selves, live our best lives, so we can be remembered for the good thing. Because it's only when we're in trouble. You didn't even know that comes up. So it is not really pleasing in the sight of man, because I swear we say to please men, but I swear we still do. Let us live a life that is pleasing in the sight of God, so we know in the end where we will rest once our soul departs this earth. Here to live forever. Nope. So we're gonna be young, we're gonna be teenage, we're gonna be middle, we're gonna get, then we are gonna go back to the earth from whence we come it. So when we get back, we will have the officers in studio. Before we go to the break. Yeah, boy. Oh. It's no, because if it was what politicians vested in it, because now business then listen, do not you PPP. So we to start mathematics run around in school in a job on break or something like that, you know. So no. Then I continued to advance. I left St. Kitts in 2008 for Antigua, and I still never saw attention. I never heard of Citizen by Investment. It's only in maybe the years, like I would say maybe 2015 is probably the first time me personally, and it's more visible, it's in your face. But I didn't know. It's the person that made me aware that that's how long the program was.
The sad thing about it, I don't believe there was enough transparency as could have been, and even up to now, because one of the things that person's been asking, how many passports we have given out, how much money we've been getting, and I don't know. Secrecy gonna lead to all kind of things, contents here, and especially when you have governments, hiding information. Well, there's the
maybe get things to the people, because if the people know too much, what could happen?
Yeah,
some certain thing. So they need to shield us from certain things, so we don't need to know.
No, man, we need to know if we've sold 3,000 passports, 5,000, 10,000. When I was in Qatar back in 2021, we went for the expo there. I was in the St. Kitts and Nevis pavilion, and a gentleman passed in, and he was looking around, and then he engaged me. I didn't engage him, he engaged me. We spoke, and then he said he's a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis by investment. He hadn't been to St. Kitts, however, he wanted to know a little more about it, so he's visiting the pavilion and looking around because we had cultural displays and things like that. And I said, okay, that's interesting. I wonder how many persons are going to come and do that. And not only with St. Kitts and Nevis, but with other countries. But they're all over the world, because I know there was a Russian, I think, who represented us in lawn tennis. Because her parents and thus herself was, they were members, they were citizens by investment and things like that. So, but it's interesting.
All right. So, talk is next.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
This is your start. Big deal, nice wheels, just my ride. No wait, no hassle, just right. I saw it, I owned it, quick like that. National bank, got me on track. Now I'm rolling free, no free spread. Keys in my hand, I feel blessed.
With Vroom, you pay $0 down. Get low rates and fast approval. Apply today at any National Bank branch or online at www.sknanb.com. Vroom, your used car loan from National Bank. Terms and conditions apply.
This is your start.
Easter is a season of fresh starts, new plans, and moments worth celebrating. This year, crack open extra funds with a TDC Financial Services Easter loan with up to $50,000 available to help you do more this season. Whether you're planning Easter activities, taking care of home projects, traveling to see loved ones, or simply giving yourself some breathing room, TDC Financial Services is here to help. Enjoy affordable rates, fast approvals, and flexible repayment options, all designed to make borrowing easy and stress-free. So don't let your plans stay in the shell. Crack open extra funds with TDC Financial Services today. Apply at TDC Financial Services on Central Street in Bastyr, St. Kitts, or Main Street in Charlestown, Nevis. TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, hover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the doorway or any exit. Stairs might broke up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that because you might get in and poof, power gone and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
This message is sponsored by the Australian Government, AusAid, and produced by NEMA in collaboration with WinFM.
Easter is a season of fresh starts, new plans, and moments worth celebrating. This year, crack open extra funds with a TDC Financial Services Easter loan with up to $50,000 available to help you do more this season. Whether you're planning Easter activities, taking care of home projects, traveling to see loved ones, or simply giving yourself some breathing room, TDC Financial Services is here to help. Enjoy affordable rates, fast approvals, and flexible repayment options, all designed to make borrowing easy and stress-free. So don't let your plans stay in the shell. Crack open extra funds with TDC Financial Services today. Apply at TDC Financial Services on Central Street in Bastyr, St. Kitts, or Main Street in Charlestown, Nevis. TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
This is your start. Big deal, nice wheels. Just my ride. No wait, no hassle. Just right. I saw it, I owned it quick like that. National Bank. Got me on track. Now I'm rolling free. No free spread. Keys in my hand. I feel blessed.
With Vroom, you pay $0 down. Get low rates and fast approval. Apply today at any National Bank branch or online at www.sknanb.com. Vroom, your used car loan from National Bank. Terms and conditions apply.
This is your start.
You say, hello, Miss Lee. Yes, it's me, Earthquake. I coming Tuesday around 10. No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced. And when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of way. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the doorway or any exit. Stairs might broke up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
This message is sponsored by the Australian Government, AusAid, and produced by NEMA in collaboration with WinFM.
on Island TV. And today.
Morning, Curtains, and morning to our radio listeners. I am doing great. It's always exciting to be at WinFM to really inform the general public of different areas of traffic. Yeah.
And we're going to talk pertaining to your officer being laid to rest. So once again, condolences early this morning. So on behalf of us here at WinFM, condolences on your loss.
Thank
You're
you so
welcome.
much. So the funeral service will be held at the Antioch Baptist Church.
Oh, okay.
And so we are advising motorists that restrictions will be in place along the Limekeel Road.
Okay.
Parking, they can park on the verge, the verge of NEMA premises.
Okay.
And other available areas they can park, and also on the verge of the Antioch Baptist Church. No parking will be allowed on the inside of the compound, because that parking is reserved for the family members of the deceased and also the rank and files of the police force, including the Governor General and the Prime Minister and other cabinet ministers who will be attending. Parliamentarian for that matter, because I'm quite sure that it's likely to attract members from the opposition. I know that Officer Shaw was a long-standing close protection officer for the former Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris. Yeah. And so I'm sure that he will be part of the funeral ceremony. So those will be allowed parking on the compound. However, where there are available parking, patrons, persons attending the funeral can park in legal parking. Okay. It's a funeral, so I don't want to say that we will tow away illegal parking vehicle. We are just asking for the cooperation. Yeah. And persons who are traversing the traffic must also be minded of the restrictions that are in place. So after the funeral service, the body will be cremated. Oh. And so for the procession, because it's a state funeral, and so for the procession, the parade will move northward along Limekeel Road onto the Island Main Road, and travel along the street westerly towards the roundabout, the Camps roundabout. And so persons, vehicles, persons who are traversing in that area, there will be a short inconvenience, because vehicles will not be allowed to pass while the funeral is in procession. So you will be diverted around towards the tunnel, and you can navigate back onto the road towards Bastille. And so when the funeral passes around the roundabout, they will travel easterly back towards Limekeel and straight ahead to Lime Eagle Funeral Home. That's where the funeral procession will end, and then the latter part of the service will deal with the cremation. Okay. So we are seeking the cooperation of the general public in this regard. All right, with that, to the contents here, I want to really bring to the floor. This is not a new issue. The littering of vehicles. This is something that, as you traverse the streets within Bastille, even in the immediate the precincts of the traffic department. Could you imagine that? The traffic department, you have abandoned vehicles around the streets around that area. And so we think it's necessary to bring to the attention of the general public in relation to the littering of vehicles. And when I say littering of vehicles, I'm speaking to broken down vehicles, vehicles that are abandoned, vehicles that are derelict, and so on. That is specifically what I'm speaking to. Now, there are various options that the traffic department has in relation of the authority with respect to the law. You have the Litter Abatement Act and also the Public Health Act, along with the Solid Waste Management Act and the Vehicles and Road Traffic Act. Okay. And so there are several pieces of legislation that the police can take action in relation to that. Now, we have in place at the traffic department a policy of where you report in off-road vehicles. And I'm quite sure that some of these vehicles are reported to be off-road, but they're on the government road. So I don't understand the context of that, because really and truly, the roads are to be utilized by licensed vehicles, right? It should be used by licensed vehicles. So if your vehicle is not operational, then it should not be left on the road. There is an offense in terms of repairing, what we will call maintaining vehicles on the road, or fixing broken down vehicles. There are lots of offense. And so we realize that it's becoming a problem, and so we intend to really look at it as an urgent need for enforcement. Yes, you wanted to say something?
Yes. When my vehicle was good, my parking was on the road, right?
Yes.
So if I don't have, I wrote you the letter, you know it's down. If I don't have anywhere to put it, where do I put it?
Well, the onus is on you to find a place of storage. The road is not really.
But when it was up and running, that was my parking spot.
Because it is licensed, and once it is licensed, then
I understand it, go to the road, but no, where can I put?
Yes, so you have to find somewhere. Either you if you don't have an empty piece of land or anywhere, then you might have to
ask the person at the garage to hold my car for me?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to ask a question for folks who park.
The thing about the problem with having these vehicles left on the road, you have to look at it from very several aspects. It is a health problem, especially if they're derelict.
Rats and
you have rodents, you have all kind of things. Then you have the case where they are overgrown, and then they are utilized
as hiding spots.
Spots for certain things and things like that. So we want to minimize those eventuality, because you have to take it holistically. You can look at it from where you are also preventing crime. And so everybody has a civic responsibility to ensure that what they are doing doesn't contribute to the increase of criminal activities or opportunity, creating an environment for an opportunity for crime to be very relevant upon prevalent.
Okay.
And so that is what the importance of enforcing and also educating and encouraging, soliciting the support and the cooperation of the general public. So if you're in the program and you know you have a vehicle that is abandoned on the road, this is for you. If you are a mechanic person that operates on the road, because this is the thing, especially those persons who apply the trade, and they have all these vehicles on the road. Everybody come with a problem, they park it there, and the streets, not many of the roads are very wide.
Yes,
it
that's
cannot
true.
Accommodate two-way traffic if it is a two-way street, and still parking. The other thing that does apart from the unsightly thing for it,
Appearance.
it
Yeah.
impedes on persons' privacy.
Yeah.
Because I dealt with report where persons will call to the station and seek the assistance of the police because people park by the gate, blocking the gate. They can't get in and out of the gate. And so these situations really creating a problem, and so we really want to begin to highlight it. Now, within the Public Health Act, it speaks to the collection and disposal of refuse under the 5th schedule of standing order and standing regulation, SRNO, let me say it that way, section 39 of 1978. And regulation 17 speaks about the deposit of disused vehicles. The Litter Abatement Act, Cap 23.12, 2002, the definition that it gives for derelict vehicles, it says it means any vehicle, whether or not it is still contains its motor and whether or not it is licensed, that is in such an advanced state of disrepair that it cannot be reasonably be expected to be economically repaired for the working condition. So what that is saying is that if your vehicle is on the road but it is not likely to be get back into full operation, even though it has economic value, because it is the disrepair state, then it is considered to be derelict.
Okay.
All right. Now these vehicles, even though that they are derelict, we will still require to serve notice on them because, as the law speaks or defines that once you have an economic value. So somebody might say, well, my vehicle derelict, but I could sell parts, I could sell the chassis, I could sell this and so on. So then you will still be required by law to put a notice of removal and allow the person the opportunity based on the law to have it removed.
Okay.
But at the same time, some people do not comply. There is a cost in doing that because, so most of the time when we are doing this, we have to partner with the solid waste management or the health department. And so when we do that, we either do it under the Act, whether the Solid Waste Management Act or the Public Health Act. Even though that because Section 3, subsection 1 of the Litter Abatement Act is saying no person shall deposit litter in a public place except in a receptacle provided for under Section 4. And Section 5 speaks to the litter wardens. Police officer by ex officio within the law are litter wardens, or an environmental officer is a member, environmental officer, a member of the police force, solid waste management, etc. Those by virtue of office can act under the Act in relation to that. Section 12 speaks to the disposal of the derelict vehicles, and it's a failure to comply with the notice under Section 11, subsection 1. The vehicle may at any time can be removed or caused to be removed and disposed of, and the dispose to whom notice to remove and dispose may recorded from the person from time to time. What that is saying is that once notice is placed on the vehicle for removal, and that time come, the police have the authority to remove the vehicle from the street.
Okay.
Most of the time we take the vehicle straight to canary down,
Okay.
regardless to the condition of the vehicle. Regardless to the condition of the vehicle.
So even if it
And
doesn't
so,
look the fish.
even though it's a good vehicle, because it should not be on the road.
Okay.
And so once we give a notice to have the vehicle removed and that time elapsed and the person have not complied with the notice, then the law is saying that we have the authority
Okay.
to remove the vehicle at the most convenient place, and the most convenient place
Stop.
in this place is the solid waste site.
Okay.
And so that would have shielded the police in terms of such action. So the thing about it is that we don't want to have to take this kind of action. We are appealing to the cooperation of the person. So if you own a vehicle and you know that the vehicle is at a mechanic shop and so on, you have a responsibility to check in on your vehicle, check in with the mechanic, and make sure that your vehicle is not one that will be likely to be in a situation like that. Even though the mechanic is responsible,
Yeah.
the mechanic, the person who has charge of the vehicle is responsible. But we really want to have the roadway clear.
Yes.
On Bastia, even in the villages, people, it just seems so normal that you have a vehicle is not working, you just leave it on the street. And so this is what I want to really bring to the attention of the general public. As I said, we will use this medium to try to encourage and also to inform. But with that, we will do enforcement. And once we start we enforce strictly. All right, Contentia, we don't have any call?
No. I guess they're just listening.
Right,
Today
it's
seems
just
to be a very
information.
solemn Monday. Yeah.
No, the also speaks to persons who obstruct. A police officer have a little warden, meaning that if you try to prevent the police from performing or carrying out its duty, that is an offense and you can be taken to court. Now we have two forms of notice. The notice, I think, for broken down vehicles is 48 hours, 2 days, and for derelict vehicles is 7 days.
To move it.
To have it removed.
Okay.
I think the reason between the 48 and the 7 days is that if the vehicle is in working condition but might not be serviceable, then it might be easier to have it removed. Unlike a derelict vehicle that is broken down and things like that. So the law allows for reasonable time to have you to comply with the notice. And so in the spirit of the law, that if within that 7 days you have not complied, then the police is given the authority to have the vehicle removed.
Okay.
We have a call?
Good morning.
Good morning, Potentia. Good morning, Maguire.
Yes.
Good morning.
Officer, how are you doing? I'm listening the conversation, and it is good, and it is the only thing for you all to do to clean up all those abandoned cars around the whole island. If a car is not in condition of bringing back, or even if it's bringing back, yes, it should be off the road as long as it's not licensed or registered. And that is called the quality of life or the quality of living. When a car is abandoned at a place for a while, it attracts rodents and insects that is hazardous to us. And the owners of these vehicles should be mindful and considerate of doing something about it. I mean, I know some people will dump their car even in the mountains just for it to out of state, but it still will attract those kind of rodents and insects. Last but not least, I hope that this will be strongly enforced, and even to some people who has their yard looking like a dump heap, or even worse than cannery dump heap, even there, I'm not saying the officers, but the health of inspector to enforce quality of life, and that keeps the country down. One part cannot look good and another part is looking so raggedy. So I hope some kind of consideration will be enforced moving forward. You have also and brought a great topic to the podium.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we continue, Sergeant, there's a question here or a concern. It says there is a conspicuous growth in the number of marked reserved parking spaces in Bastille. There seems to be no shortage of yellow paint available for such use. On the other hand, there is a glaring failure to refresh the painting of pedestrian crossings. Why is the safety of pedestrians getting second place to reserving parking for privileged motorists?
Wow. Let me say, I understand the concern raised, right? But it's not a matter that the resurfacing of reserve parking and these other parking are prioritized over pedestrian crossing. But because there is so much to do, and then you basically have to try to manage the need, and so you will work out a management of the tasking. And I understand the caller, but very, 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 very shortly as I speak, because we are aware of these challenges and the need to have the signage be replaced. That is what we are working on, the resurfacing and the maintenance of the pedestrian crossing and so we are really on top.
The one that is currently, caller, we'll get to you, the one that's currently at KFC, that's not a crossing that people still use as a crossing. Can we not get that out of there? Because once it shows, people are going to think it's a crossing, and anything happen, they're going to say, well, the police should have taken it out, and this should have happened, and that should have happened.
Right. There is some engineering mechanics with regards to that.
Okay.
And so Public Works is really the one who have been requested to have it dealt with. And we have been reminding. One of the things that is the best time to get it done, but I think it's really long overdue.
Very much
and,
so.
We will continue to try to see how we can get some resolution to that.
Because even tourists cross on it, and we can't wrong them because it's there.
Because
once you see a pedestrian crossing, you know you can't cross. And go ahead, your line. Thank you for holding.
Potencio, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Potencio.
Morning.
Yes, you touched something where it look like you're gonna go be traffic go walk, because the stadium, they drive there every day, they see these things. The other day, witness a tourist nearly get knocked down there. But most of all, I want to talk about Potencio. I want to lend some hand to my brethren in America. These people, especially in the rural area, they're too nasty.
Oh boy. Okay, Jam Down, you can always call back.
Got disconnected.
Oh boy. Yeah, but we had as a people, it shouldn't take our leaders to tell us we have to clean up. We should want to have our place clean, and as they say now, the hantavirus is
It's
something
very
that's
simple.
passed from rats. We don't want them things in our place, so we have to be
You know, that last call,
Mm-hmm.
the caller highlighted a few things in relation to that, the coordination of the enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I find that we at the traffic department, we are paying attention to it, but the other out district doesn't treat it as a priority. And so all that helps to normalize, bring about the normalization in relation to that. But the thing about it is that persons, and my hope is that persons in the countryside also listen to this, the information, and act on the information that is given, rather than waiting for a police officer to have to come and enforce. You know, put you in a position that you have no choice of doing it.
Yeah.
And so you can always call into the traffic department if you're wondering how can you dispose of your vehicle, can you have it removed or stored. In terms of the storage, we can provide storage for you, but in relation to the disposal, you know, you can simply have it disposed at the solid waste. Depends on the condition of the vehicle rather than left it. Now, with the enforcement, that bring about another problem, because people tend to go and just dump the derelict vehicles in bushy areas, in abandoned places along Cane Range and so on. And so sometimes even when you try, it's like a balloon effect. When you try to correct something
else happens.
It happens, it balloon on the other side where somebody chose to take a shortcut in relation to that. But littering is littering, it doesn't matter. So if you move it from off the road and you left it by some isolated place, it is still littering.
Is there a fine for that?
Yeah, it is. There is a fine.
Do you know the cost for that?
I'm not in terms of the exact cost in relation to that, but what I know with the litter act is that the fine is very hefty, 5,000 or more. In relation to that, 5,000. I think I remember one time, even if you go to the solid waste to deposit refuse, and you don't have it covered, and you're given I remember I was at court when a gentleman feel the effect of it when the magistrate told him, because the maximum fine is $20,000. $20,000, and the ticket was $500, but he did not pay the ticket. So when he was taken to court, and the magistrate just make him aware of what the maximum penalty is, and he has the jurisdiction to charge him the maximum penalty.
Wow.
Yeah, $20,000.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. So I know. I know for sure that the penalty is very significant in relation to that. But the thing is, people just believe that if they can do it without being seen, it's okay.
Yeah.
Once nobody see them, there is no consequence, they can do it.
And they figure with the license plate off and everything else off, nothing they're tied.
Even if you jump around up at Milligan, it's called, the road to go up where you come back out by Buckley's roundabout.
Okay.
When you're coming around the corner, they're just in the bushes, people dump refuse there. Fridge and right by the roadside. Because it's an area where, you know, even though people move about, there is somewhat isolated. The traffic is not that heavy. And this is the kind of behavior that people display. And so on, when it doesn't really have
warrant
to be
them,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so there's I think a concern before we wrap up. This says the necessity to transfer road painting from the traffic department to the public works department is highlighted by the officer claiming that the traffic department is having to prioritize actions based on the resources available to them.
And I will agree with that that person who wrote that, because really and truly the maintenance of the road is really public works, the responsibility of public works. We do get from time to time get assistance with the public works department, but I think
the prisoners used to do it. How come we don't see them out there painting it? Because I find they did a good job at maintaining the road markings when they were doing it.
Right. So that is something that we will have to look at again. I am not quite sure what has changed it, but it's something that we are looking at in relation to, because the areas are voluminous in terms of the number of areas that you have the crossing, because right now as we speak, the person who is doing that, I know last week he was in the countryside dealing with the crossings at the schools. And so I would have said to him, well, rather than have to come and go, he will walk around, so then you don't have to go back. And so it's just a matter of managing what is being done. So that is what happened.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Traffic Talk.
Yeah, it's previous caller again. Let me give you a little tip. When a car is abandoned in isolated area or areas where one thinks they might not be discovered, left to right. If you've been taking notice, every vehicle carry a VIN number, vehicle identification number, as we say up here in Caribbean, they say chassis number. If you track the chassis number and the chassis, I know people will now erase the chassis number or whatever marking to identify it as vehicle. But if that were to be discovered, recognized, then you chase it back to the last owner, because every vehicle had a registrant. And track it to the registrant, and the history will open. And they should be fine, because if they abandon it in such an area, why couldn't they take it to the easiest way out, once and for all, call the traffic department, as you said, Mr. Maguire, to get rid of it, than to just, litter it. That is so, as Jamdon said, it is nasty. It is absurd. I can't think of any other way to say that. And these people, they are dirty if they're going to do that. Clean up the island. Clean up the island. And it should be drastic and robust and radical. So those are tips. Track the chassis number or the VIN number and hit them a hefty fine. And let them come and negotiate.
Well, yes, and I take your point. We have done that, but sometimes the vehicles are in such a derelict state that you are not able to discover the VIN and chassis number. I have personal experience of that. Suppose take advantage of that, and then you have the other problem now, in terms of the burden of proving that the person actually litter, because if you go into the court, you will have to prove beyond reasonable doubt. And so
some will be lost.
Some
will be lost, not identified, and that's how it is, because everyone will try to cover their tracks. So, but all cannot go the same way. But yes, clean up the island.
Yeah, thank you very much for your contribution.
Thank you, caller,
and for sharing your perspective on the issue.
I have one more question before we wrap up, Sergeant McGuire, and this person's asking, what is the traffic department doing about the traffic light, especially for persons with disability?
The traffic light.
Yeah.
What? I'm not sure.
I guess it's too. The countdown is too
The
quick.
countdown.
I would want to say the countdown is too quick, and maybe if we have persons in wheelchairs, maybe we can make provisions for them for it to be a bit longer, and persons that move slow.
Right. That is something a discussion I may have to take up with the engineers, and find out what is the rationale, because I myself find that the countdown is rather quick. I think it's about
I don't even remember all
10 seconds.
All I noticed, I just see 6 and 5, and I just know I gotta this thing soon.
It's 6 seconds, and then right after it countdown, the light just immediately switch, and then vehicles ready to go. So if you have an elderly person or someone who is disabled, like the person said, it's a discussion that I will have and try to understand what is really the rationale for that. I know I've been told that the traffic light is really for the balancing of the vehicular traffic.
But what happened to us that have to walk? As someone is asking here is why is it persons cannot park on the sidewalk where people are allowed to sell on the same sidewalk? Oh boy, no.
They're both offenses. They are offenses.
But the parking is dealt with a bit harsher than the selling.
Well, I'm not sure if I agree with that context how you put it, but we are dealing with it. The thing with the parking and the sidewalk, that might be a little bit. I'm trying to be careful how I put it over, but you remember there was a time when we tried to enforce the law in relation to the selling of the sidewalk.
Move everybody off.
We were able to be very effective with it, to have it being enforced during COVID period, and then from time to time and different changes and so on, and then it happens, people see economic value and you're disrupting economic entrepreneurship and so on. And we all understand how that goes. We all understand how it goes. So,
all right. Yeah. Well,
before you go, the traffic lights at Baker's Corner. What I realize when I'm there, the cycles go around twice before the pedestrians get the signal to walk, and I've monitored it a couple times.
Right. I think when that happened, that is the purpose of the button. Because
doesn't matter. I've been pressing it 43 times.
No, you just press it once.
Well, that was
disrupt the cycle.
But I've
people beating everything.
But what I found, when I'm on one side pressing, somebody on the other side, even though they press,
so use the sequence.
But it doesn't stop the double cycle.
Yeah, it confuse it. I think what happened is that because the lights are censored, right? Because they're censored, so where they sense the traffic is heavy, that is where they give priority to.
But sometimes I'm standing and I see a vehicle 2 miles off coming, none there. They use the sensors in the road, I think. But I wonder if they work, because sometimes no vehicles there, but they still go around the 2 cycles.
But allow me to have a conversation with the with the engineer and get a more better understanding, and then next week, God's willing, I would be able to come back and inform us and inform ourselves as to the operation.
This can be. We have to wrap up.
Hi, good morning. With reference to that point that I think it sounded like Biff was just making, I would like to believe that because the 2 traffic lights in Baker's Corner are so close, it really has to give preference to vehicle movement, because if you have one right at the coming from Wellington Road and one coming out of East Chris Street, if you don't have the cycle that will move the vehicle. It would mean for me that there'll be a bottleneck there every time, and there sometimes there's a bottleneck there. So I would believe that because the lights are so close, it gives the vehicle twice the amount of time to move around so that they can go across to the 4th Street area or go into Pond Road.
Right.
So I think that is the reason. And I think it's reasonable that way.
Yeah, and I agree with you. You know what? Instead of just trying to get the information, I'll try to get the person to come in with us, and so the person can really inform us all as to what happens and so. Because I know that person's been making reference about over at at the Treasury building, and I think because of the congestion, the light. So because the lights are in such close proximity in terms of the number of traffic, it really can't regulate a certain amount fast enough. And so we'll have the post. I'll try and make contact with him and ask him to sit in with us and try to inform us all together. All right, so it has been a pleasure, Carter,
always,
and I hope that we continue to have an exciting week. And
Mondays seem to be so exciting. We have too many condolences, but
we
hope for
I know. All right, so thanks for having me, and thanks to our listening audience.
Indeed, and see you next week. And hopefully you don't get caught out to too many accidents today, folks. Be careful. 20 miles an hour. We'll take a break and we'll be right back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Own fast, ride smart, you're up now. This is your start, big deal, nice wheels, just my ride. No wait, no hassle, just right. I saw it, I owned it, quick like that. National band, got me on track. Now I'm rolling free, no free spread. Keys in my hand, I feel blessed.
With Vroom, you pay $0 down. Get low rates and fast approval. Apply today at any National Bank branch or online at www.sknanb.com. Vroom, your used car loan from National Bank. Terms and conditions apply.
This is your start.
What are you doing?
She said, drink a root boy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh, she said, drink a root boy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh, cause when we out and we active, living we life. So when we drink, drinking. Root boy. So when we drink, drinking. Root boy. Oh, Miss Lady, anyway you see we are building up our vibes. So when we drink, drinking. Root boy. So when we drink, drinking. Root boy. Why?
Building supplies, electrical supplies, furniture appliances, carpets and tiles. It's the company where you can get it all. All at TDC, home and building depot. Lawn and garden, the TVs and stereos. All at TDC, home and building depot. Come on down, get what you're looking for. It's all at TDC, home and building depot. Own fast, ride smart, you're up now. This is your start, big deal, nice wheels, just my ride. No wait, no hassle, just right. I saw it, I owned it, quick like that. National band, got me on track. Now I'm rolling free, no free spread. Keys in my hand, I feel blessed.
With Vroom, you pay $0 down. Get low rates and fast approval. Apply today at any National Bank branch or online at www.sknanb.com. Vroom, your used car loan from National Bank. Terms and conditions apply.
This is your
Teach us about 21 minutes after the hour of 9. Live on Island T. Good morning. Boy, I wonder if it's jammed down. I think maybe I made jam down credit run out just now. Lord, jam down. I humbly apologize. I'm sorry about that. Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Good morning to everybody, and greetings once more in the name of Jesus Christ, the only Savior of sinners from the sins and from hell, through faith only by the gospel only. Now, I would like to say a little something in addition to what I said last week concerning the minimum wage. Another thing about the minimum wage is that it makes it harder for people to get jobs, to be hired. Because when an employee have a person before them interviewing, he or she is assessing whether this person is going to bring in more than what they're paying to employ the person. And the higher the minimum wage, the more you raise the stakes against the person who is looking at job. Also, you increases the closure of businesses, especially small and medium businesses. And it ain't just a few people who get affected negatively, it's a ton load of people who get affected and negatively when government increases the minimum wage. Another thing, when I spoke about it the last time, it was said that, well, it was me that when I was working, I used to argue for increase in salary, for my benefit. No, I never used, to the best of my memory, I never used to argue.
To the best of your memory, so that means you remember the times you argued for your raise then?
No, I don't believe I ever did. I don't believe I ever did. I don't believe I ever did. I began working
So let me ask this question before you continue. So let's say you started at 500, should you have ended after all those years at 500? And life would have still been good for you and you've been able to provide for yourself?
It would have, under one condition, that the government did the things to increase the spending power of the dollar. Yeah, because increasing the spending power of the dollar is the same thing. Basically the same thing as getting a raise in salary.
Greg, certain things that are happening right now in the world, the government have no control over it, regardless of who government in.
Yes, certain things. And there are certain things as well that they do have a lot of control over. That they do have, and which they could apply to be cushions. Because what I remember I used to argue for when I was working, I used to argue for decreasing taxation. I used to argue for decrease in government spending, duty-free reports, and that sort of stuff. That is what I know I used to ask, because I know I would have benefited from those things much more than than a wage increase. Because, like I always tell people, even when I was working then, don't you all realize every time the government carry up the salary, prices go up as well in reaction to government action. And I remember, like I said one time, me and a Rastaman, we were talking, and he was saying, things are going up too much, life's getting too hard. And I said to him, I think that's a tongue-in-cheek, I said to him, yeah, but the government raised the minimum wage the other day, and very substantial. I think one of the highest in the region, if not the highest in the region. So how come you're arguing that life's still getting, because this was supposed to ease life? He said the government didn't raise it enough. Mark Young, we already had, it was an increase of basically one of the highest in the region, if not the highest. And I said, I said, it should, and he said they should have raised it even more. And I said, let me tell you what, if they had raised it even more, prices would have even go up more in reaction to government, because that is what always happens. Prices always go up, and when people think it's going to get better, you're back to where you start and even worse. And I said to him, the solution is government need to be at the very least, cutting taxes and that sort of stuff. Privatizing, cutting government spending. So I said, this is the way government need to go to ease the cost of living. And I said to him, this is the biblical way. And the Bible knows what it's talking about, because You cannot go against the Bible and win. And therefore, the economic law of supply and demand, because it is biblical, you cannot go against it and win. And so that is what are basically basic. And not only that, but when the government increased minimum wage, they increase job insecurity. Because the very people you intend to help, you actually increase the job insecurity. Because they're the first one who's going to get fired, which does happen when the government increase wages. So it ain't just a few people who would be affected, but a good amount, a lot. And lastly, I would like to say quickly, maybe on the next program, I would try to address the IMF report that they just recently gave on the 7th of May.
Okay.
If I get the chance to do that. Thank you very much. Surprised nobody have spoken about the IMF report. Yeah, I would. It depends on how Voices go. I will try and see.
Voices is a better thing for that. Unless, of course, we introduce it here, then it's open for that. But Voices is probably a better forum for that.
The report.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's also a news item too. The IMF report. You know. But anyhow, I would try and see if I could do that.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg.
All right. I still don't get Greg's analogy on this, but
it's shooting a little above me.
Yeah.
So
when he came with it, I researched something and I put it in my folder. Now I'm looking in my folder for it and I can't find it. Go ahead. You're live on Island Tea. Good morning.
Good morning, Katensi. How are you guys?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Happy belated Mother's Day.
Belated Mother's Day, yes.
Thank you so much. A question with this this outbreak of this virus. I see they said some people from St. Kitts was on that ship. Are the people back in St. Kitts? And if they are they under quarantine?
That's the thing, right? I don't remember them saying people. I don't know if it's somebody that just had our passport.
Well, I don't know, but the fact that the country name was called, the people in charge should let the public know whether these people, because our country name was called, whether they're back in St. Kitts or they're not even from St. Kitts period, they just have a passport.
Okay. Because I saw an article this morning. Excuse me, I didn't get a chance to read it. It said that there's a breakout in the U.S. You heard about that?
No, I haven't heard that. Okay. I know that the people that they brought back, I think they put them in quarantine.
Okay. And do we know which part in the U.S. those folks are at?
Alaska.
Oh, Alaska. Oh, okay. Because we didn't. I don't know if you listened to the program last week, but the ministry put out a letter. I think that's the only thing I had there to say, that they are working closely with the powers that be, and we're not to worry. Let me pull the letter up so I can tell you exactly what it says clear. It says, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis wishes to assure the public that it is fully aware of the recent concerns surrounding the presence and potential risks associated with hantavirus and is actively monitoring the situation with the highest level of attention and care. At this time, multiple relevant agencies, including the Ministry of Health and its technical departments, are independently conducting through investigations and assessment to determine the scope, source, and any potential public health implications. These efforts are being guided by established international health protocols and best practices to ensure accuracy, transparency, and protection of public health. The government urges the public to remain calm while the situation is being assessed. And they said, please stay tuned to official authorities for updates. And that's the last update we got. We got nothing else.
They say all that, but they still come back and let the public know if these people are in the country or whether they were just people who were carrying the passport.
That is correct.
Now to Greg. I was part of what you and Greg were talking about. Now, Greg never refused none of his increase in salary or any double salary.
Same thing I said too.
Greg so believe in the Bible way, as he would say. He should tell them no, thank you.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing as the government, you're hurting the public.
Yeah.
As he would
Good
say,
point.
and don't take it. If he so believe in what he's saying,
Yeah.
he should not have taken the double salary and the increase in salary. He should have blatantly refused and said, no, thank you. It's not the Bible way.
Clear. You could say, I swear, but I don't understand why would government keep your pay at $500 when everything is rising around them where they have no control over it.
Exactly.
But Greg.
He sure will be Greg, but if he really believed the Bible as he would say, he should have refused.
Yeah, don't take the salary.
He didn't have to take it. He could have said, stick to the Bible way.
Even with the pension that the government has since made a little adjustment to, I think I don't think he's there yet. I don't think he's 60-something as yet. He doesn't look 60-something to me. But maybe he could tell them, don't put none on his.
Exactly. He could have refused it. But hold on. Mr. wants to say something.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning. How you all doing?
Good. Yourself?
Wonderful.
All right.
Listen, I know that Greg might be, but Greg is correct with the salary increase and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that the government doesn't have control over it. It's that in what Greg said when he was just on, he said that the salary go up, but as soon as the salary go up,
things go up.
A can of milk goes up.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't get to the citizens can't get to save anything. The public can't save anything because as soon as the government announced that the increase is going to be increasing salary, the supermarkets kept their stuff.
But what if it's okay, and I get that. That's a valid point. But remember, most of the things that we consume, Mr. Rogers, come from foreign. So how can the government stop those things from being so costly? And we see now with the Strait being in lockdown, things are going to get more expensive. So what can the government and these big corporations in the federations do to not pass on that cost to the consumer? Because that's exactly what happens. The small man pay, the poor man pay.
So let's take a pin in it there for a second, right? Before the salary went up, the can of milk was $1.25.
Yeah.
So nothing changed between the $1.25 and the announcement of the salary increase. The price was not increased at the manufacturer. The price was not increased in insurance. The price was not increased in shipping. But yet, as they get the raise, the can of milk price move.
Mm-hmm.
But should that really be so?
No, the government should have control over that because the government's supposed to know what the shippers are, what the importers are paying to import. The government's supposed to know all of that already. So when the price goes up, the government know whether the price is a valid added to it or not. But the government doesn't have control over that because the government don't care about that.
No, boy.
Okay. And so the Consumer Affairs Department need to really go out and do their work. But not only that, the legislation.
Yeah, but the consumers should not even be on the government.
Should be an independent body, that's correct.
Independent body.
Yeah, that's correct.
But backed by the government.
But then how can they not be part? So it's an independent body but backed by the government. But then the government can still have some kind of influence in there where they could basically say, well, you got to ease up on this or ease up on that. What do you think about that then?
Just like the Attorney General should not be representing the Prime Minister, the Attorney General should be independent of the government, but paid by the government. He's supposed to be representing the people, not the Prime Minister, not the government.
Yeah.
If the Prime Minister want somebody to represent, he go find a lawyer someplace.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
supposed to represent the
You're the
people.
second me for, well, this week. You're the first for this week, but somebody said the same thing last week because they mentioned how our Attorney General don't look at ease anymore. His shoulders are always up. And I even came to his defense and says because he always probably is thinking somebody's going to attack me, so let me be on the defensive already, you know? But yeah, he should have been independent of. But when they're independent of isn't it the Constitution, Mr. Rogers, that whomever selects the Governor General? So how should we, not the Governor General, sorry, the Attorney General. So should we select the Attorney General so he can be independent of the ruling party?
That should be done in election.
Exactly. The public
Oh,
should do
okay.
that.
So let the people, yes, let 3 or 4 people go up for that position. Let the people elect them.
Okay.
So they represent the people, not the government.
Okay.
Because anything they do in there, they go against the people because they stand with the government.
Oh,
Even
okay.
the government is wrong.
Okay.
So I'm getting the impression that the function is somewhat similar to the Human Resources Department. The Human Resources Department, it is a government position, but my interpretation is the Human Resources Department is the police of the government and the civil service to make sure the civil servants don't take advantage of the government and the government at the same time doesn't take advantage of the civil servants.
Exactly.
So they should be saying, no Prime Minister, that piece of legislation is according to the ILO, it is this, it is that, etc., etc. And hey, you workers over there, we realize you're coming to work late and taking early lunch and long lunch. So you cut that out, otherwise there are going to be some repercussions for that.
And it's done the first time with the consumer affairs, it should be the same way. Everybody who import and export in and out of the country, all that should go before that body. You can't raise prices unless a can of milk overseas where you import it from went up. You can't because you don't say, well, insurance gone up. How would I know insurance went up? How come that soon we get a salary increase, insurance gone up? It was not before.
Boy. Yeah, that's just like how somebody said to me the other day. So the oil was in the gas station before the increase. They couldn't sell it. Why would they
That is what it's
increase?
supposed to be.
Listen, people see me all
You hype Mike.
Yeah, boy.
But good point, Carla.
Thank you so much for your contributions this morning, and it's nice hearing you because we don't normally hear you, kind sir.
You're welcome.
All right. Call. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Yes, one thing to note about an increase in the minimum wage. It is true that importers and so on are not faced with a corresponding increase in things like insurance, freight, and that sort of thing to justify sending up prices right away. But as soon as you increase the minimum wage, you have what you call an inflationary pressure in that you will have to look at adjusting wages of practically all your employees because, you don't want, for instance, let's say a supervisor was making what the minimum wage, the new minimum wage is, and still remain at that remuneration after the minimum wage, the new minimum wage hasn't been introduced. The employer is pretty much forced to pay that supervisor more. So you automatically have to adjust your wages, which ultimately means you have to adjust the cost because it is an additional cost doing business, right? So it's inflationary. I can see your point about why not sell the oil that they have, the gas that they have currently, right, at the same price.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And that seems like that seems to make perfect sense, right? Except that if there are no controls over things like that, you're bound to have. I wouldn't not necessarily call them unscrupulous. They'll probably say, well, that's just business. They would realize that there's a general tendency, there's general pressure on the price of gas going upwards, so I might as well do it now. Okay? I don't know. I suspect that a lot of what happens in between, like the things like duties and those things, the government has an impact on that. And so if they really want to control stuff, they can do it. The problem comes in that if you're just one area, unless there's a decrease in government spending overall, you have to make up for it in another area. Okay, so it's like taxing Peter to pay Paul kind of thing, right? And so that is where the finesse comes in. You know, what do you put high duties on, and what do you tax to compensate for that loss of income, right? If you're not going to reduce overall government spending, right? And one other thing, wasn't it you who said that you're going to try to get patches in?
Yeah, but I think he has since left though. I saw him departing.
Okay, well you can do it. You can do it by online, Zoom or something, because that would be a big scoop for WinFM. Eh? You know, somebody who's prepared to sing now, you know, to explain the intricacies of what happens in government. What he chose to say is dishonesty and corruption. What exactly did he see going on which he didn't like, or eventually didn't like, you know, so that citizens will get an idea, because, you know, this general feeling that governments are generally secretive, and we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, really. And it would be nice if an insider comes out and explains to the population exactly what happened. You know? So that would be a big scoop for WinFM, if you could get that arranged.
No, we could, because I would like to know why the sudden change of heart.
Everybody would like to know. You know, everybody would like to know, because we know that there are a lot of things that go on which we are not privy to, we don't know. And even more concerning is the fact that it is not it's not just any one government, right? It seems to be the way that government has been operating over the years.
Yeah, it's continuous.
Right. You know, it's all of a sudden, as soon as you get into government, certain things become, you know, you shut up. You know, and certain things are not for the public, not for public scrutiny, and that sort of thing. And it really should not be. You know, and it would be nice if somebody an insider, come out and say exactly what the position is insofar as that is concerned. Because every government, you have accusations about whether it's individual members or the government collectively doing things which are questionable, and you don't get answers. You know, so if someone is prepared to come straight out now and say that this is what actually happened, you know, it would be good.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for your contribution. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Building supplies, electrical supplies, furniture, appliances, carpets and tiles. It's the company where you can get it all. All at TDC, home and building depot. From lawn and garden, the TVs and stereos, all Embrace the mix.
Campari red passion, full action, this is red passion. Embrace the mix, add Campari, make it turn and twist. Add your chaser in your drink. Campari red passion, make the nicest mix. Campari.
Campari Red Passion. Embrace the mix. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
It's here. The all-new Toyota RAV4 has arrived at TDC Automotive with bold styling, advanced technology, and the versatility to match your lifestyle. This is the SUV built for wherever the road takes you. Now available. Get yours today or place your order with our team. Visit us at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Site in St. Kitts or Penny's Industrial Estate in Nevis. TDC Automotive. We're number one for a reason.
And we're back on Island Tea, just about 47 minutes before the hour of 10. Caller, good morning. Go ahead.
Yes, good. Yeah, good morning, Constance.
Hey, bro.
Good morning to the listeners. Yeah, real quickly, let me just say something. I think those persons who were on that ship with that hunter virus, they're gonna be housed in Nebraska. Nebraska it's a facility there that was used during COVID. I'm on a quest to bring an event to Nevis, like a national. We need something to happen in St. Kitts and Nevis to bring back a sense of national pride. And that event would be to place 3 persons at the National Heroes Park. I have 2 gentlemen in mind, and I'm looking for some persons to recommend a lady, a female, who has made contributions to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We got to break the fact that over there they only have politicians, because politics is not the only segment in society. El Comido Willet and Elimat are 2 persons I have in mind, and then we have to break the gender divide and bring in a female. Me personally, I don't think I have all the information or knowledge to select a lady, a female, but persons are welcome to come forward with their suggestions. And last thing that I want to maybe say is I'm very troubled by a lot of stuff that I be hearing about the Nevis end with that Destiny project and the lands, not just in the south side of Nevis, but elsewhere as well. There was a gentleman that I called in here one time, and he asked the question, what's going to happen to the lands over there on Nevis in that area where they're proposed to bring that Destiny project if the project doesn't come to fruition? But me personally, I've been listening so closely, and it's very troubling to hear what's been going on Nevis. And I'm calling on the Prime Minister, and I'm asking the question, if you have 2 children, or you're just going to be focusing on one of your 2 children, what happened to the other one? And with that said, I'm calling out the Prime Minister to really stay on top of what's going on over there in Nevis with those Nevis lands, because when persons get on here and they talk about, got to secure the lands for us, and these are national lands, and on the St. Kitts side, people are renting, and St. Kitts people don't own their lands like how the Nevis people own their lands. But what's going on over on Nevis? They're about to turn Nevis just like what they said is happening in St. Kitts. Those lands that the local Nevis people is owning over there on that south side and elsewhere else, we are not going to own those lands shortly after now. There is too much stuff going on behind the scenes. There is no transparency. You know, the honesty is not being put out there. And the Prime Minister, he is slide whining about, he's trying to move around what's going on over there on Nevis. This man, he is the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, and not just the Prime Minister of St. Kitts. He should be involved in the Nevis affairs. He should stay on top of it. Man, in less than no time, Nevis people are going to lose all those lands over there. What I'm hearing behind the scenes and through the grapevines, and I'm getting a lot of information from some reputable sources. And what I heard over the weekend continually, I heard some stuff over the weekend on a reputable source, and that stuff is very troubling. We're going to lose all those lands over there and elsewhere, not just in Nevis alone, but in both islands. But, you know, we should pay attention to what's going on over there.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, man, in next to like the next 5 years, next 10 years, and it's already visible to me. I don't know who's not looking, but it's very visible to me already. I last was there in Nevis in 2024, and what I've seen, I've encouraged Biff to take a trip over to Nevis on a tour. I haven't heard from him yet, but it's visible, not just in Nevis, both islands.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to lose our lands, and we're already losing access to the beaches. This stuff can't be stopped. That's what the problem is now. It cannot be stopped. Nobody can stop this because the powers may be, they are moving contrary to what the citizens are asking them to do with those lands.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, I'm going to go right back at the Prime Minister last year, and I'm going to get right off. When he created the Prime Minister, the Destiny Project, right, on Nevis, the Prime Minister needs to be a strong leader and come straight out and say what he wants with that Destiny Project, if it's bad for the country or not, and state to the Premier that we should not do that. Don't just create that ad hoc committee, because he created that ad hoc committee, and it's a list like he just put a pause on it, right? But really and truly, the Premier is still doing stuff behind the scenes. If the Prime Minister is responsible for putting that situation into perspective, he should really come out and say that straight to the Nevis and St. people, and say that straight to the Premier as well.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let the Premier doing what he wants to do over there at Nevis, because the Premier is not the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. He is. Dr. Drew is the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. He should not ignore what's going on over at Nevis. And I'll leave that there, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for your contribution, Bill. You were saying? Okay, and here is where we're going to wrap today's program. Remember to stay tuned for Voices that is upcoming. To all our listeners, thank you. Whether you tuned in, whether you watched, whether you listened, thank you. And we will see you tomorrow, Tuesday. And to all those who are mourning, our continued condolences on behalf of the entire team here at WinFM and the RNT family. And for those of you celebrating, celebrate hearty. Eat your cake. Remember to exercise thereafter. Have a great Monday and see you tomorrow. God spare.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.